Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast.
This is a show dedicated to helping you become a better organist.
We're your hosts, Vidas
And Aušra Motuzaitė Pinkevičienė.
We have over 25 years of experience of playing the organ.
And we've been teaching thousands of organists online from 89 countries since 2011.
So now let's jump in and get started with the podcast for today.
We hope you'll enjoy it.
Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Aušra.
Let's start episode 721 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Massimiliano, and he writes, "Hello Vidas, how are you? Since I have some problems with my eyesight, I was looking for a somewhat large written edition. I wanted to ask you, please, what editions you use for Bach's music? In your videos, I can't understand it well. I also wanted to ask you if you know a good manual for organ improvisation in style, or if you can recommend something for study. Massimiliano." So we have two questions basically in this, right?
Yes, it seems like that.
Massimiliano wants to know larger editions for Bach's music for people with poor eyesight, probably, right? And what instructional materials to use if they want to learn improvisation. And I understand in style he wants to learn in Bach style, probably, or not.
I don't know because he doesn't say so.
Right, it's unclear. Let's start with editions of Bach's music. So the standard today is, of course, Neue Bachs Ausgabe.
Yes, published by German edition Baron Reiter.
Yes, and it's available for print, in print editions for purchasing. You can buy complete works of Bach as a set in print edition, but it's also available on IMSLP because it's public domain without those critical commentaries, just pure music, because it's Urtext edition, right? No editorial remarks are added in the music score itself. So it's now public domain. Enough years have passed since publication of Neue Bachs Ausgabe. But those critical commentaries are still under copyright, and they should be only consulted from the original Baron Reiter edition.
Yes, and we have all volumes for our use. And I would say that it's probably the largest printed score of Bach's scores, at least from what I know, because like Dovre's edition is really not as good for poor vision or Peter's edition. Because, Baron Reiter is very wide spaced on the page. Widespread, maybe.
Yes.
That's the better thing. Man, it's a little bit annoying for me, for example, because you have to turn pages very often. But I guess that for the people with poor vision, that's probably the best solution. I'm not sure. Maybe, French might have something even better because we have that, tradition of poor vision or blind organists.
Braille.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But I've heard from blind organists that reading music scores in Braille notation is really a difficult task. So I actually received quite a few requests from a few blind organists to create audio training material where I could play voice by voice a certain work, or right hand alone, left hand alone, and pedals alone, and they could then imitate what I do on their keyboards and pedal boards from the recording itself, not looking at this, not studying from the Braille score.
Interesting.
Does this make sense, Osha?
Yes.
But then I have to play quite slowly because, of course, the concert speed is too fast for this kind of study. Yeah, that's also significant portion of organists world who probably have poor eyesight and even can't read anything written on the score in traditional notation.
Yes, and another thing, of course, you could always enlarge, the scores. There's a possibility too.
I also wonder, since we're playing from tablets, from iPads, and not necessarily even iPads, because we are using now mobile sheets app. It's available both on iPad and Android, and even on Windows computers for larger screens, for example. So basically, I'm wondering if you could format your page like this and show a portion of the page only, not entire page, but just a portion, half of the page, and it will be like twice as big. The font would be twice as large.
That might be another possibility.
I haven't explored this yet because somehow we managed, but it would be interesting to see if there is such a possibility to enlarge your score on tablet.
Yes, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the second portion of the question about a good manual for organ improvisation. So there are a number of basically materials from which you could study. If it was 20th century, we could use obviously the printed scores, printed books, and music sheet, and basically printed editions. And some of the most famous ones are by Marcel Dupré.
Yes, that what comes in mind first when we are talking.
Right. Then I believe Louis Vierne wrote something about that too, but I don't know if it's printed or not. Maybe from his biography you can only read how he created those improvisations, and even 24 pieces in the freestyle opus 31, they all written in one form, based one procedure, 6-part form, and he taught that kind of improvisation. Then what else, Osha?
Well, if we are talking about Baroque music, then I would say that my suggestion would be to try Handel's book.
Bach, Handel's continuo exercises.
Yes, that's a great way, to get to improvise in Baroque style.
Correct, because definitely learning Baroque improvisation requires good skills in reading continuo, basso continuo, or thorough bass. And It's similar to learning harmony, but it's a precursor to harmony actually, right? Harmony books came later than continuo books. And in Bach's day, in Handel's day, in Buxtehude's day, it was all about the continuo playing. You could even improvise small fugues and fuguettes based on continuo.
Sure, and like if you really love Baroque style, you could easily improvise chaconas, rupasacalias.
Right. Those fugues are called partimento fugues, and there are a few treatises on that, how to read continuo notation, but for polyphonic composition, imitative polyphonic composition like fugues. Then, what else can we recommend? Pamela Reuter-Feenstra, our former professor at Eastern Michigan University, wrote a 2-volume treatise on learning improvisation in the style of Bach. Then, obviously, since we are in the 21st century, you're no longer restricted to the printed scores, printed books to learn something. You could learn from videos, and that's what online organ world is all about. For example, the great improviser Sietse de Vries from the Netherlands has a Patreon course about improvisation, and he has hundreds of students there, and you could learn a lot from studying from his tutorials. The only challenge is that you have to translate those tutorials into human language, basically, because Sietse de Vries is so talented, I would say even on the border of genius, that for regular person, even especially for beginners in improvisation, those tutorials require simplified language, and we've done actually some tutorials based on Sietse's lesson, but I explained how to make it work in normal situation for beginners, and I've received some feedback from people that they have been helpful as well. So lots of materials are in our Total Organist program for improvisation as well, so you could check it out.
Yes, that might be really helpful.
Excellent. I hope this was useful to Massimiliano and for others who want to learn improvisation and also looking for eye-friendly editions of Bach's music. Please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This podcast is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online.
It has hundreds of courses, coaching and practice materials for every area of organ playing, thousands of instructional videos and PDFs. You will not find more value anywhere else online.
Total Organist helps you to master any piece, perfect your technique, develop your sight reading skills, improvise or compose your own music, and much, much more.
Sign up and begin your training today at organduo.lt and click on Total Organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
If you like our organ music, you can also support us on Buy Me a Coffee platform.
Find out more at buymeacoffee.com/organduo.